Hello and welcome back to the Patriotic Master Podcast. I'm your host, Patriotic Master. Today we are going to be talking about the Florida, August 20th, primaries. This year we are seeing a lot of more conservatives come out to challenge the rhinos for re-election. And this year we've got quite a few great candidates running against the rhinos. But we also have quite a few good candidates running against communist Democrats, which there are only a few communist Democrats running for re-election in Florida. And hopefully soon enough, we can flip these Democrat districts and make Florida's House of Representatives list completely red and purge this list of Democrats. Because in all cases, no Democrat should be representing the great state of Florida in the U.S. House of Representatives. With the great disrespect they show Governor DeSantis, I don't think any of these Democrat representatives deserve to represent Florida in the U.S. House of Representatives. So let's try to get these people kicked out of Congress and show them what they get for disrespecting one of the greatest states that respects freedom in this country. So to start off with my endorsements, I am endorsing Senator Rick Scott for re-election. The man has been consistent on the issues and stood strong with the American people. Therefore, I am endorsing him for re-election. Then we get to the 1st District. Matt Gaetz, the current incumbent for this district, he's been incumbent for quite some time for this district. I think it's time for change because this man is responsible for New York State's 3rd District being taken away from the GOP. We had a great candidate in New York State's 3rd District, George Santos, who won that district when all other Republicans failed. And yet, because Matt Gaetz kicked McCarthy out of the speakership, we lost that seat. The Democrats were able to use the turmoil over who would be the next Speaker of the House to take the fight to the GOP and take back Pelosi's old seat. And in fact, Pelosi ran in the special election to replace George Santos, who the Democrats got expelled from Congress. Now, what George Santos did to get expelled was not excusable. That was wrong. But still, had McCarthy still been in the speakership, we would have still held that till Election Day. And maybe we could have held it by replacing Santos during the primaries. But Matt Gaetz was petty because McCarthy was investigating him for supposed sexual assault allegations involving underage girls. Matt Gaetz was petty. He decided to take his pettiness out on McCarthy. So therefore, I think it's high time we get rid of Matt Gaetz and elect my endorsed candidate, Aaron Dimmick. 2nd District, I am endorsing Neil Dunn, Dr. Neil Dunn, current representative of the 2nd District for re-election. 3rd District, I am endorsing Kat Cammack. 4th District, I am endorsing Representative Aaron Bean for re-election. 5th District, I am endorsing the primary challenger of John Rutherford, Mara Macy, to become the next representative of the 5th District. 6th District, I am endorsing Michael Walz for re-election. 7th District, I am endorsing Corey Mills, a well-known military veteran, for re-election. He has stood strong on the issues, he has not caved, and he has fought for the people of the 7th District. Therefore, I am endorsing him for re-election. 8th District, I am I'm co-endorsing on this district. I'm co-endorsing Joe Babbitt and John Harton to replace retiring Republican incumbent Bill Posey, who is retiring at the end of his term. So hopefully, either my candidates, Joe Babbitt or John Harton, will win this primary and go on to become the next great representative of the 8th District. Ninth District, you have my endorsed candidates, co-endorsed candidates, Jose Castillo and Thomas Chalafox, who are running in the primaries to become the Republican challenger to the incumbent Democrat traitor to this great republic, Darren Soto, in the 9th District. In the 10th District, you got my endorsed candidate, William Montag, or however you pronounce that. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Willie, who is looking to challenge the incumbent Democrat traitor to the great United States Republic, Maxwell Frost. Frost is a well-known communist and has always voted against the people on the issues. In the 11th District, you got my endorsed candidate, John McCloy, primary challenging Daniel Webster, the incumbent Rhino. Then in the 12th District, you got my endorsed candidate, Hank Dunlap. He is looking to primary out incumbent Rhino, Gus Bilrakis. 13th District, I am endorsing Anna Paulina Luna. Now, me and her may not agree on everything about Trump and about the direction the GOP needs to go. But I will say this, she is solid on the issues. She does a good job fighting for the people on the issues. So therefore, I've decided to endorse her for re-election, instead of not endorsing in her race. In the 14th District, I am co-endorsing Rocky Rochford and John Peters to challenge Kathy Castor, the incumbent Democrat traitor to the United States Republic. And in order to become the next one of these two good men to become the next representative from the 14th District. Kathy Castor has sold out on the issues. She has supported the communists. She has sympathized with terrorists. She cannot be trusted. Therefore, I am endorsing Rocky Rochford and John Peters, both in this district. And I think these two will take the fight to her and actually expose her for what she is a fraud and an un-American piece of trash. Because Kathy Castor is basically what we call a communist and a terrorist sympathizer. We can no longer trust her. The people of the 14th District need to give Rocky Rochford or John Peters the chance to prove how they will fight for the people of the 14th District. Then we get to the 15th District. President Trump was threatening to primary Laurel Lee. I am endorsing Laurel Lee for re-election. She is what it takes to be a true conservative, a true patriot, because she stood up for her values and endorsed Ron DeSantis during the primaries for president. And you know what? I think that took guts. Her, Massey, Good, and Chip Roy, what they did took guts. Was to support somebody whose values matched their own. And that's the problem in this country. Too many people care about values and only care about if you appease them or not. And that's what these Laurel Lee, Bob Good, Chip Roy, and Thomas Massey did. They looked to somebody who had the same values as them and cared about the American people as much as they did. Then we get to the 16th District. I am again endorsing, and I'm still endorsing, Eddie Spire to primary out incumbent Rhino Vern Buchanan. Eddie Spire is a true conservative and a patriot, and I think it's time the 16th District give him a chance to show how he'll fight for them in Congress. So I think the American people in the 16th District need to give him that chance. Because the problem is too many people don't know about these candidates, and they don't give them the chance to prove themselves to the American people in Congress. So that's what the American people need to do, is they need to give these people the chance to prove themselves in Congress, to show that they will fight for the people. Then we get to the 17th District. I'm endorsing Greg Steube for re-election. In the 18th District, I'm endorsing Scott Franklin for re-election. 19th District, I am endorsing Byron Donalds for re-election. 20th District, I skipped because nobody is running against the Democrats in the 20th District. 21st District, I am endorsing Rick Wiles to primary out incumbent Brian Mast, the Rhino incumbent. I endorsed somebody before in this district back in 2020 to primary Brian Mast. Her name was... Crap, I can't even remember what her name was, but... she was a solid patriot. And the greatest thing was, she put my name, my X account name, on her campaign page for endorsements. And she was one of the very few to actually do that. And I almost cried when I seen that because, it was like, that just felt so kind to me. That a political candidate put my name about my endorsement of them on their political campaign page under endorsements. Not many do that. I get a lot of thanks for the endorsements, and I get a lot of likes and retweets of my endorsements and whatnot, but never before had I had a political candidate put my name under list of endorsements they've gotten. And that woman back in 2020 was the first one to do it. I have not once had anybody put my name under their endorsements on their pages. But then again, that's because I'm a middle-class American. Not many people care about a middle-class American endorsing political candidates. But I do it because, I want to throw my support out there for these people who are running against big-name candidates. Because I want them to know that they got somebody in America that's going to have their backs. That middle-class Americans like myself will have their backs, will support them, will endorse them, and will help them fight for the American people. Then we go to this 22nd District. I am co-endorsing Andrew Gutman, Dan Franzese, and Deborah Adime, who are all running to challenge Lois Frankel, the incumbent Democrat. These three are all solid on the issues. They're all solid on the issues. They promise to fight for you on these issues. And this is why the people of the 22nd District need to give one of these three the chance to serve them in Congress. Because I tell you right now, I totally think that these three will do what Lois Frankel will not do, and that's stand up for the people's rights on the Second Amendment, First Amendment, and all the other amendments that are under attack by the Democrats. These three will do what Lois Frankel will not, and is defend your freedoms and fight for you first. In the 23rd District, I was originally co-endorsing, but then I switched to just endorsing Darlene Swaffer. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciation of names, but Darlene officially got my sole endorsement after what I found out from Carla Spalding, because supposedly she had switched from the 25th to the 23rd, and she used a lot of campaign money. Put a lot of that campaign money into her own hands, which technically you're not supposed to do unless you're not running for politics anymore and you've retired from politics. And, that's just really sad of Carla Spalding to do. People thought she actually cared about them and was going to fight for them. And yet she does this. That's really sad. So I am endorsing Darlene to challenge and to defeat Democrat incumbent Jared Moskowitz in November. So let's help Darlene win that primary in the 23rd District and go on to beat Jared Moskowitz in this November. in the 24th district, I am co-endorsing. I got quite a few co-endorsements in this list. Patricia Gonzalez and Jesus Navarro, who are both running to challenge Frederica Wilson in the 24th district. These two are both solid on the issues. I think they would both do really well in taking the fight to Frederica Wilson. So, let us make it clear to these Democrats that they are no longer safe, and that we are going to take their seats from them, and we're going to make a point that the American people are tired of them playing petty politics and putting foreign nations before our own people. And I think it's time to show Frederica Wilson that she is no longer safe from being beaten by a Republican conservative in that district. So let's do it, guys. Let's elect Patricia Gonzalez or Jesus Navarro in November, and let's help them become the next representative from the 24th district. In the 25th district, I'm co-endorsing Chris Eddy, Brian Lieb, and Reuben Young, all three who are challenging incumbent Democrat traitor Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Yeah, you guys remember this name. She is well known for being unpatriotic, being a traitor to this country. And because she has sympathized with domestic terrorists like BLM and Antifa, and she has also sympathized with the terrorists in the Middle East like Hamas. She is a terrorist sympathizer. She should no longer be allowed to represent the people of the 25th district in Florida. So let's send a message to her. Let's elect Chris Eddy, Brian Lieb, or Reuben Young to the House of Representatives for the 25th district. And let's let them prove to the people that they will fight for the people of the 25th congressional district. Then we get to the 26th congressional district. And this is where we have my endorsed candidate, Johnny Fratto, running in the primary to challenge Mario Diaz-Balart in the primary. He is trying to primary out Mario Diaz-Balart. Originally, my endorsed candidate, Laverne Spicer, was also in the primary, but I have no longer seen her on the primary lists or anything anywhere online, so I'm giving my sole endorsement to Johnny Fratto. So let's help this man win the primary, beat out Mario Ballard, and become the next representative from the 26th Congressional District. So again, guys, we have at least 6 Republican rhinos and 4 or 5 Democrats that ultra-conservatives are trying to primary. So, in November, these coming months, the 20th of August, we need to make a message clear to the rhinos that they are no longer safe, and that we will be officially primarying them. And then we also need to send a message to these Democrat representatives in Florida that they are no longer safe, and that their districts are no longer secured, and that we are going to take these districts back, and that my candidates are going to put them on notice, and that they are probably even going to beat them. Because I think that my candidates are going to send a message to the people and say, listen, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to fight for you. This current representative, has not done any of that for you. They have fought for foreign nations first. So let's do this, guys. Let's fight for these conservative candidates and help them get elected. Help them win their primaries on August 20th, and then win the general elections on November 4th, and help them become the next representatives across the state of Florida in the U.S. House of Representatives. So this is Patriotic Master. This is another episode of the Patriotic Master podcast. Thanks for listening in, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekday, and hopefully you guys have a good week. And I'll see you guys next week when I talk about the next couple upcoming primaries. So thanks for listening in, everybody, and take care.